Jeff, we're underway in the South Carolina-Mississippi State game, and no decided advantage yet. But Alexander Schultz is charging up the field here with the ball, and I believe has knocked it on. So it'll be a scrum to South Carolina here. But must win for South Carolina or Mississippi State to get to the championship game. So favourite would be South Carolina, home field advantage, and coming in with Alabama, but Mississippi State are not going to just hand it to them, that's for sure. You've got some great players in the Speets and McClendon and Futch from Mississippi State. So Carolina trying to attack from their own line here, throwing it out wide, putting the speed on. And this is a race down the sideline. And it looks like that Du Bois is going to run away, score it under the post, so it'll be the first points of the game will go to South Carolina.
Yeah, great pace on the outside. Just passes to the outside, and Brett just was a foot race, and he definitely won that race right there. Let's see if the conversion's good from Brian Kewen. Put them up by 7 points. And we just know how important these conversions are. It only seems like 2 points, but at the end of the day, you could lose a game if you miss this conversion.
Absolutely, and your legs start to get a little heavy about this time of the day after 4 straight games. So you're right. Every conversion counts. It puts you that little far ahead. When those legs start to feel like jelly, it might mean the difference between winning and losing.
Just an interesting point again on the tries. So far this afternoon, we've scored 7, 6, and 6, and this morning only had a 5.5 try average, but seems to be more points being scored this afternoon. But the ball goes into touch off the Carolina kickoff, and Mississippi State will get to restart it with the line out. The wind now appears to be directly across the field, so there's no decided advantage for either team. The ball is knocked back to Mississippi State sideline, but it's taken into touch by Mississippi State, so South Carolina will have the opportunity now to attack from the Mississippi State 22.
Yeah, when we talked to Brian Kewen in an interview, he said they just had to be aggressive and come out fast. And right now, it's definitely what USC's doing, is dominating parts of the game, getting out to early lead, and now being very threatening inside of 22 after a win from the lineout.
Little scrappy here, but Bollenbach flings it to Brian Keane, but the ball is knocked on by Carolina, so the Mississippi State ball. Jordan Spates trying to keep that ball, but some good pressure from the Carolina front row.
Yeah, that was good aggressive scrumming from South Carolina, and also the scrum half Keown got round the back of the scrum very quickly, as did the hooker Corcoran, to cause Alabama to knock that one on.
Carolina now trying to set up their outside men. Little chip over the top. I believe that the referee will rule it a knock on. It appeared to come off his feet, but I think he's got his hands in the way as well. So it'll be a scrum to Mississippi State.
South Carolina is definitely looking very creative out there, trying to get the chip kicks, with the pace and everything, and they're definitely finding spaces and gaps in the Mississippi State's defense right now, Jeff.
Yes, they are. Mississippi, I don't think this state is coming up in the line that they should come up in, and obviously little chip kicks over the top. There's a lot of space behind the line, and if you can put it in the right spot and run onto it, it's an option worth exploring. Alabama under a tremendous amount of pressure. Carolina picks the ball up and scores. I believe that was
It was Luke Bollenbach.
Luke Bollenbach some loose play from Alabama. The ball went loose, and he was able to pick it up and put it down. So a fairly simple try for South Carolina.
Mississippi State just playing a little loose out there, and looks like South Carolina has all the momentum right now and capitalizing on all the Mississippi State mistakes.
A tough kick into the here from Kean, but short of the goalpost. So the score remains South Carolina 12, Mississippi State 0. With not too long to go in the first half of this match. But, Carolina, Tennessee looks like the way it's pointing at the moment, without trying to jinx any particular team. Mississippi State can get it back with a couple of quick tries, which they're very, very capable of doing. And they've turned the ball over. Carolina, Cochran takes it, whips it out to Bollenbach. McClendon is challenging in the tackle, but Carolina going a little bit backwards, regrouping. They're trying to set their offense, and a good hard tackle by Alexandra Schultz. And the referee penalising Carolina for going to ground in the ruck there. It's bait to Schultz. They're throwing it out quickly. They have a big strong runner on the outside here, and he's trying to fend off. Strong run by Mississippi State, but run down by Sean Barnes from Carolina. McClendon takes it over for Mississippi State, so they get put their first try on the board, and the score is now 12-5 to Carolina. Jeff, South Carolina unfortunately are without their coach, today, Steve Darnell, and I know that Kean and Tim Hamill are trying to, as players, trying to coach the team, which makes it very, very difficult. And Hamill broke his wrist this morning, 2 minutes into the very first game, so they're battling through that, but leading this game, and if they can win this one, can get them into the Cup Championship Series. Mississippi State have had some tough matches so far this morning as well, but they beat Auburn, and they beat Tennessee this morning. So they're looking for a rematch, knowing that they can take that championship this evening if they can get into the final game.
Well, I think South Carolina has to keep the intensity up they had in the first half. I think Alabama has to take the ball harder up into the line. They still seem a little bit tentative. And if they don't hold South Carolina down, keep the defensive intensity up, I think South Carolina can score a number more tries.
Carolina trying to set their offense, but Mississippi State have just competed that possession and taking it away from them there, and throwing it wide to the left. But it's been intercepted, and McKeon is going to try and go all the way here. Throws an interesting pass over the top, trying to get the ball under the posts to make that an easier conversion, and Bollenbach scores under the post for South Carolina to take the score to 17 South Carolina. Mississippi State 7, so they've now got a 10-point lead with the conversion to come.
That was a very smart play by Kewan. I realized how important the conversions are on passes right up the middle for the top of the score.
Yeah, the Carolina number 9 is a very smart player. He reads the field very well. He put himself in a position there to take the intercept, and as you rightly said, Robert, he threw a nice pass to make the conversion easier.
But he does not kick the ball 10 metres, and so turns it over to Mississippi State one more time. Short kickoff. Mississippi State. Well, they're risking the penalty, but the reason for those short kicks obviously is emphasising the importance of contesting possession and getting it as quickly as you possibly can. So they're taking that chance and continue to take it. So they obviously deem that trying to get possession is more important right off the bat than trying to kick it deep and letting the other team have a chance to set up their offense. Referee penalising Mississippi State for not releasing. And Kean is taking put a little kick through and being chased by Cochran. He runs into two Carolina defenders who the ball is out and Carolina have regained possession. So and Cochran puts his man through the gap brilliantly to allow number 1 Nick Skalka to score under the post for South Carolina. Jeff, that was about as good as you can see, drawing a man and putting him through the gap.
Yes, that was good, both from the individual passing the ball and also Nick Skalka, who ran onto the ball right through the gap, straight line, and scored easily. It's one of those things that in rugby, if you can see that gap, position yourself for it, and hit that gap full speed, you're going to score a try in many cases, and there was a fine example of that.
And the convert. A smart move there by Carolina. They allowed the ball to bounce over the 10-metre line and were able to regain possession, but they flick it back in line, and Kean with a long pass, setting up his men, reversing play, and there's an overlap here. But the defence comes across, the cover is there, and the pass goes astray back to Mississippi State. Holmes to Kean, and Kean a little step, but he gets caught in the tackle, tries to toss it up to Holmes, it's knocked on and back to Mississippi State. They have a advantage here, and then they've given it to their speedster. It's a race, a great tackle by DuPont, and Mississippi State turn it over. DuPont picks up the ball and throws it wide. 3 Carolina players immediately back in place. Good pass wide by Bollenbach. And Skalka charging up the sideline. Throws it in and it comes off the Mississippi State player. So it's a Carolina ball. We've got an injured player, I believe, Callahan, on the far side of the field, and a lot of hands on hips from both teams. You get 7's rugby running without much of a break, and it is a real test of your fitness.
Yeah, 7's is it's a tough sport. It looks easy. You think only 7 minutes each half, but I tell you what, it becomes when is this ever going to end when you get out there, especially on a hot day like today. Alabama with the ball, trying to move it upfield around the halfway. Really need to generate some offense to pull this. And there's a turnover. Edson turned the ball over. Nice pass back inside to Callahan. Callahan back to Edson. Out to Keown. Back to Skulker again on the wing. It looks like he might score as well, and he does. That's a very nice play from South Carolina, moving the ball well, getting it out to the spaces. And nice try, nice turnover, and good passage of play from South Carolina.
Attempted conversion here by Kean. Conversion is wide, so with 19 points in the second half, South Carolina win 31-7.